Hey, Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash, double honors to the apostles and the bishops of Great Millstone, and Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash Brakatham to the 144,000 servants, as well as the remaining elect of Israel. So real quick, I just want to share this news bulletin with you that I just came across. It says Roots 101's latest artifact tells chilling story of slavery in Kentucky. And I guess in this video they're showing a torture box that was used in the 1800s against our people, the Hebrew Israelites, beginning with the tribe of Judah, which consists of these so-called Negroes, right? So-called African Americans. It says the slave box was a cruel form of punishment that only allowed a person's head to be outside. Okay, and I believe it tells us in the book of Isaiah, chapter 32, if I'm not mistaken, it speaks about how the instruments of the chow are cruel. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's Isaiah 32. Anyway, this is another reason why when we, the Israelites, are so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, when we get our hands on you Edomites, you so-called white people in our kingdom, which we're up to rule next, according to 2 Ezra 6 verse 9, this is why we're not going to have any mercy upon you Edomites and the rest of you heathens out there. And that's pursuant to the book of James, chapter 2 and verse 13. But it's going to start with Esau, Edom, the Edomites. You're going to get it the worst, beginning with your elite families. Okay? It tells us that in Psalms 149, verse 5 on down. You've also got Revelation 13 and verse 10. It speaks about how he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And here is the patience and the faith of the saints being us Israelites. All right, we're the saints. You read about that in the book of Psalms 50 and verse 5, Psalms 148 and verse 14. And we're patiently waiting to get our hands on you devils. Okay, right now, we've been instructed to wait upon our Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, as is written in Zephaniah 3 and verse 8. The Lord said, wait ye upon me until I rise up to the prey. Okay, so we as Hebrew Israelites, especially the hopeful elect of Israel, we're just to patiently wait for our Lord. Our main weapon, our only weapon right now is the Bible, is the scriptures, because the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. Okay, as the Apostle Paul said in 2 Corinthians 10 and verse 4. So we're fighting a spiritual battle, a spiritual fight. Okay, and again, our Bible, that's our weapon. That's our only weapon right now as we speak until our Lord gets back. Okay, Hebrews 4 verse 12. However, when our Lord Yahweh Shai gets back with the thousands upon thousands of angels, it's game over. The servants, the fishermen, pursuant to Jeremiah 16 and 16, are going to be turned into hunters. So just know that. Anyway, I'm going to play this clip. Shalom.
Well, take a look. What you're seeing right here is a shocking and vivid example, a horrible example of how badly enslaved people in Kentucky were treated. It's a tight box where only the person's head was allowed outside. This week, this donation was delivered by a family in Shelby County to the Roots 101 Museum near Waterfront Park. The founder of the museum tells me and our senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton, this is exactly the story he needed to tell.
Evil, diabolical,
tucked away in a barn loft in Shelby County.
The enslaved person would step into it, right? And then this door here, if you look here, there's a leather strap.
It's been hidden there now more than a century.
Slavery was a horrifying experience. It wasn't an experience of my old Kentucky homes.
But hidden no more, a truly terrifying discovery.
We know 1840, 1850 when it existed on the property. The property was a plantation here in Kentucky.
What are we looking at here?
We're looking at a slave box. We're looking at a torture chamber of the 1800s when they took the slaves and put the slaves in the box. And when they put the slaves in the box, they simply opened this up, put them in. You see no chair, no need space, and they would put them in and close the door. How diabolical is that? I mean, you could just feel the evil that's inside of that, right?
It's horrifying.
Yes.
The hinges and the design of them, even reflecting the shackles of the time. For Lamont Collins, the founder of Louisville's Roots 101 Museum, the slave box, a cruel form of punishment long before the Civil War, is exactly what he wants to expose.
It's a story that we have to understand in America, that the torture, the strength, resilience that Black people had to go through in this country is real.
I met with him shortly after its delivery from a family in Shelby County, the descendants, who didn't want to be identified, but are helping Collins with its history.
The family that had it didn't feel good about the history of it, but they felt good enough to share the history, but not the humiliations of having it. But they felt fine enough to say, okay, tell the story.
Collins says he's never seen one in any of the many museums he's toured.
I hope we can grow more from it. We know they used them in Kentucky. We know they used them all throughout the South and even in the North. It was a way of punishing Black people at that time.
What he's learned is this. And the enslaved person's head was right here.
The head was right here. They would either drink from it or eat if they were not punished that way.
How long would people stay in this box?
Well, it varies. You can see they could stay a day, 2 days to punishment. Some may stay a week.
A week?
A week, just like solitary confinement.
Louisville itself had a twisted history with the Civil War. We supported the Union, but we made and shipped uniforms to both the North and South. And then there's one mind-boggling story. 1 year before the Civil War ended, the Union's two top leaders, Ulysses S. Grant and William Sherman, met in Louisville. They could look out their window down on Main Street and see slave pens lined up right here. Those enslaved people were going to be sent down to the riverboats, where they would later be sold for auction. Ironically, the two men who would end slavery for America could do nothing about what they witnessed in Louisville. Collins is asking Louisville sculptor Ed Hamilton to add reality to the box.
Special head, so when you come in, you get a wholly different feel for it.
A shocking reminder of our cruel past, but one that Collins says meets his mission of pulling us right back together. Why did they keep it? Why not just burn it, get rid of it?
I've heard everybody say that, but here's what I'll say. Because they didn't burn it is the reason we're telling the story.
You say this is the most important artifact you have.
It may be.
And will soon be on display at Roots 101. Getting to the truth, now Collins says he's already had antique experts date the hinges and the leather right back to the era we're talking about, 1840 to 1850. He also says experts in this very field are visiting the museum from New York soon to help authenticate its use. And the family that made the donation is also helping by looking for any possible records. Roots 101 Museum is located right next to the Humana Waterside building on North 1st Street.